Okay? So area is inside. And when we're doing area, our units are always going to be squared. Okay, it's always going to have a little 2 up at the top. Inches squared, feet squared, meter squared. It's always going to have that. Okay. That's okay, Rachel. Thank you for letting me know. All right. Now, if you look at the formula, it says pi r squared. Okay, when we talked about circumference, we talked about pi as being 3.14, which again, you don't have to memorize. Okay, so it's going to be 3.14 times r squared, which means times radius times radius. Okay, so make sure you write that down. It's going to be radius times radius, not radius times 2. Okay, radius squared means radius times radius. Okay, once you have that written down, just put it to the side for a minute, and then we're going to look at page 62. Okay. Make sure you have your blue notes and that you are writing. Everybody's on page 62. All right, this top part is just a kind of complicated way to tell you how we got the formula. We don't really care how we got the formula. I just want to know the formula, so we're going to mark this top point off, okay? It's confusing, and I don't want to confuse you. I just need you to understand the formula and what it means. So that's what we're going to focus on, okay? It says the area of a circle measures the space inside a 2D shape. Okay, area is inside. If you were here, I would make you do circumference is the outside. Area is inside. Area is inside. So we're looking in a circle. Okay, we have our formula, which we already said. Pi r squared. And remember that I said r squared means r times r. Okay, don't put r times 2. It's not r times 2, it's r times r. Like a pirate, r. Okay? All right. Now, when we did circumference, there were 2 different formulas, one for the radius and one for the diameter. But for area, there's only one formula, so you have to have radius. Okay, so let's write this big. Must have radius. Okay? You have to have the radius. There's no formula to use diameter for. All right? So if they give me the diameter, how can I find the radius? They give me the diameter. How can I find the radius? So how do you find that?
Because radius is like 1/2 of radius.
Okay. And how do you find half of something? Perfect. So if they give you diameter, you want to divide by 2. Okay. If they give you the diameter, the whole thing, you just have to divide by 2 to get the radius. Okay. So first thing we want to do is ask ourselves, did they give me radius? Did they give me diameter? Okay. All right, so let's look at our first picture. It's kind of hard to tell, but over here, they tell you r equals 3. Do you think r is the radius, or do you think r is the diameter? Radius. So my formula, A equals pi r squared. Okay? Every single time, write the formula first. Every single time. Even if you're not here at school for me to check it, write your formula. It's good practice. Okay? Now plug in the values. Pi is 3.14. The radius is 3. And then remember, radius squared means radius times radius. So I'm going to write 3 again. Before you multiply, let me show you something. Okay? When you were in 5th, 6th grade, y'all did these little factor trees. Oh, what numbers make up 9? Oh, 3 and 3. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's 3 squared, right? This is the same thing, but you're going the other way. So you have to remember, the 2 tells you that there are 2 of the numbers. Okay? So what do y'all think 4 squared equals?
16.
16. And how did you get 16?
So 4 times
4 times 4. Good. Okay? Yes, Adam. Okay? What do y'all think 8 squared is?
64.
And how did you get 64, Arseny?
8 times 8.
Good. Okay? So just remember, it's not times 2. It's not 4 times 2 is 16. It's 4 times 4. So 2 4s. Okay? If you're going to miss anything, that's probably what you're going to miss. So be careful so that you don't miss that. Okay? All right. So now in your calculators, go ahead and multiply these numbers for me real quick. You can use your calculator on your phone, on your computer, or if you're in here, you can grab one of these up here.
9.42.
Did you multiply 3.14 times 3 times 3?
Oh, no, I did not do that.
Yeah, make sure you do all 3 numbers. Good, Fernando. 28.26. Now remember, we want our numbers to have closed. We don't want naked numbers, so we got to put our units. Our units is inches, but because it's area, it's inches squared. Remember, our units are squared. That just means you put a 2 up there. Whoops, sorry. Our units are squared, okay? Every single time you have to have a little 2 up there for units squared. All right, let's look at our second picture. What part of the circle is the 10 pointing at?
Diameter.
The diameter. So if I know the diameter is 10, what's the radius?
5.
5. So I don't really need that 10. I have to know that 5. Oops. Everybody understand why I put the 5? Okay? You can't have the diameter. Don't fall for that trick. Formula, pi r squared. Let's hear from one of my ladies. What is pi? Any of my ladies?
.14.
Thank you. 3.14. Okay, and then my radius for this circle is?
5.
So I do times 5 times
5.
5. Very good.
Wait, can you do like 5 times 5? That equals 25, so then you go 25 times 2.
All right, go to multiply that for me. Let's see what you got. What did you say?
78.
Perfect.
78.5.
78.5 what? Centimeters what? Squared.
2.
Okay, don't forget that too. Squared. All right, on the next one. What part of the circle did they give me?
Diameter.
The 6.
Oh, radius.
How do you know the 6 is the radius?
Because it's halfway.
Halfway. Perfect. Okay. First things first. Formula. Pi r squared. Now I'm going to plug in 3.14 times 6. Good.
113.04.
So close. What's missing?
Meters.
So close.
2. Square 2.
Squared. Good. Okay, you got to have all those parts. So meters squared. Okay. So ask yourself, radius or diameter? If it's radius, just do radius times radius. If it's diameter, cut it in half and then do radius times radius. Okay? Very, very easy if you'll just take it one step at a time and don't get ahead of yourself. Okay? Let's look at the next page. We'll do just a couple more together. All right, sometimes they want you to work backwards. They want to give you the area, and they want you to use your formula to solve for the equation.
Bigger and divide.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it says a circle has an area of 78.5 square inches. What is the radius? Okay, so every single time before I do anything, I need the formula. What's the formula? A equals
A circle.
Pi
Oh, pi.
pi r squared. Okay, we want to plug in what we know. Okay, what do we know? The area. So I'm putting it under A. Be very careful to put it in the right spot. What do we know about pi?
Oh, I got it.
And then we don't know r squared. We don't know that. Okay. So now this is just an algebra problem that we did a lot of practice on. Okay, how can I get r by itself?
Dividing
By itself, so it's clearly
3.14.
Divide by 3.14 because 3.14 is hanging out with r, right? So I got to get rid of 3.14. So then r squared equals what?
25.
25. Now you will never have anything like this on the test because you don't know how to do square roots yet, which Arseny was referring to. But r squared means a number times itself. So let's just think, what number times itself would give me 25? 5, yeah. Okay. So that's just taking it a little step farther than we have to, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is and that it can be done. Okay. We're going to do just 3 more word problems together, and then I'm going to let you work. Okay. A pizza has a diameter of 18 inches. It is cut into 8 pieces. How many square inches is each pizza? Do you see the word area anywhere in that problem? No. How do I know this is an area problem?
Because it's a pizza circle, and
Well, I could be talking about the outside of the circle. How do we know I'm not talking about the outside? What did I box right here? Square inches. Remember, units squared means what? Area. Okay? So that's how I know it's area. So formula first. Okay? Second step, plug in what you know. Okay? I know the diameter is 18, but I don't have a diameter in my formula. So what do I need to do? Yeah. So I know that r is 9. So I know that pi is what? Times what? Times what?
3.14.
Times 9 again. So make sure that you have 2 9s. Okay. Everybody okay with why I put the 9s in the 3.14? Okay. Go ahead and multiply that for me.
254.34 inches to square 2.
Yes.
Answer
254, 34, is that right? 34 inches squared.
4.34.
Okay. So the whole pizza is 254 inches squared. Okay. But the question says there are 8 pieces, and how much is 1 slice? So what do you think we should do now?
Divide.
Good. What are we dividing by? By 8, because there are 8 pieces. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is just taking it one step farther. I would not ask you anything like this on a test. It's just taking it one step farther. So each piece is about 32 inches squared. Bless you. All right. Next one.
Hold on. I'm still ready.
right, the next one says a circular rug. Okay, most rugs are rectangles. This one's not a rectangle, it's a circle. It's 8 feet across. What is the area? So this question actually does say area. Okay, so what do y'all think? What's the formula first of all?
APR squared.
Pi r squared. We know that pi is equal to what?
3.15 and 4.
How'd you get 4? Because I don't see 4 in that problem.
Because the measure across, that means it's diameter, and I divide it by 2, so that's 4.
Good. So that one, they didn't use the word diameter, but you just have to know if it's all the way across, it's diameter, okay? And then the radius is 4. So now 3.14 times 4 times 4.
So it equals 18. Squared.
Okay, did y'all get 50.24 feet squared? Yeah? All right. Last one for our notes. We're looking to put an outdoor patio, and we want a fountain out there. So we have option 1 and option 2. The question says, how many more? What does how many more mean? Is that an add, subtract, multiply, divide?
Add
Multiply.
How many more?
Subtract.
Subtract.
Oh.
Okay. How many more? You have $7. I have $3. How many more do you have? How many more means subtract. Okay. So we're going to do circle 1, circle 2, and then subtract. Okay. I'm going to give you like 3 minutes to do that. Make sure you use the diameter. Use the radius. This one has several steps, so make sure you do all the steps. So do circle 1, do circle 2, and then find out how many more. So then subtract them. Got about 1 more minute. All right, my ladies. Can I have one of my ladies tell me circle 1? You can put it in the chat if you want, but I need a lady to tell me circle 1. I'm going to come back. While I'm waiting on circle 1, gentlemen, can y'all tell me circle 2?
It's the first one. The other one is 254.
Perfect. 254.34. If you missed it, look at mine to see how I got it. Okay, one of my ladies, can you tell me circle 1?
Circle 1 is 200.
Yep, my ladies must be taking a nap. 200.96. Okay, And then the question says how many more, so you have to subtract. So 53.38. If you did not get that, I need you to look at mine, look at yours, figure out what number you plugged in wrong. Maybe you just tapped it wrong in the calculator. If you got it right, say got it in the chat. If not, I'm going to leave it up here for just a second so that you can catch up. All right. If you are done, I need you to turn back to page 57 in your notes. It should be a blank page. Turn back to 57.